Hey everybody, welcome back. I've got a new deck profile for you guys. It's my Lunatone and Solrock deck. This is a single prize deck revolving around, of course, Lunatone and Solrock. Let's get into it. So, the main attacker of this deck is Lunatone from the Pokemon Go expansion. Play 4 of them, and the main attack you'll be using with Lunatone is Moon Kinesis. This is an attack that costs 3 colorless energy, and it deals 30 damage, and 30 more for each psychic energy attached to this Pokemon. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds kind of familiar. Well, it's because it's kind of similar to Darkrai V-Star, which is a deck I've covered earlier, which deals more damage based on the amount of darkness energy you have in play. But there's a few differences. Aside from the couple of obvious ones, including needing a different type of energy, Lunatone needs Psychic, Darkrai needs Darkness, and also having a different attack cost, 2 colorless here, 3 colorless here, and also Lunatone being a single prize Pokemon, whereas Darkrai is a 2 prize Pokemon. The attack requires all your Psychic energies to be attached to the Lunatone you're attacking with. It's an important distinction that you'll need to keep in mind. The other attack that Lunatone has that you might not use often is Cycle Draw. It's an attack that allows you to discard a card from your hand and then draw 3 cards. It can be useful early game, but most of the time you'll want to be trying to attack with Moon Kinesis when you can. So how do you get the energy onto Lunatone to attack? Well, that's where Solrock comes in. Like with Lunatone, you play 4 of these, and of course, it's also from the Pokemon Go expansion. Main thing to note is the ability, Sun Energy, which allows you to, once during your turn, attach a Psychic Energy from your discard pile to one of your Lunatone. Doesn't matter whether it's active or benched, you just attach a Psychic Energy from your discard pile to the Lunatone you want to attack with, and then you get to go. Each Solrock you have in play is an additional energy you can attach, and we have ways of reusing this ability as well, which I will cover in a little bit. We play a couple of other Pokemon too, one Manaphy and one Radiant Greninja. As you'll notice, the Lunatone and Solrock both have very low hit points. They each have 90. So, which makes them susceptible to bench damage and makes them a little bit easy to knock out in that fashion. That's where Manaphy comes in. Its ability Wave Veil allows you to prevent all damage done to your bench Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. So this can help keep your Pokemon protected. And also, Radiant Greninja, one of the best card drawing Pokemon out there. Concealed cards allows you to discard an energy from your hand to draw 2 cards. Also very handy as it can get your Psychic energies in the discard pile, so Solrock can grab them and attach them to your Lunatones. And that's it for the Pokemon, only 10 Pokemon in this deck. Now let's get into some of the other cards, starting with the supporters. Of course, 4 copies of Professor's Research allows you to discard your hand, draw 7. Always a handy card to have to help you get set up. Another handy card to have in any deck you build, 2 Boss's Orders. These allow you to get your knockouts a little more easily. You can bring up something that your Lunatone can easily knock out for easy prizes. And I also have 2 other supporters. They're single copies, one Marnie and one Cynthia's Ambition. Marnie is pretty much an obvious one. It allows you to mess with your opponent's hand while also simultaneously getting you more cards. And also Cynthia's Ambition, which allows you to draw cards until you have 5 in your hand, and if any of your Pokemon were knocked out during your last turn, you draw cards until you have 8 in your hand. Very handy card in a deck like this with single prize attackers with low hit points, as you might get knockouts all the time, so you'll probably have some way of getting to draw up to 8 with this. That's it for supporters. Now let's cover items, starting with 4 copies of Quick Ball. Pretty much any deck will run 4 copies of Quick Ball, but since all the Pokemon in this deck are basic, this will allow you to get any of them. And also the discard costs can help you get Psychic Energy into your discard for your Solrocks to use their ability. Another card that helps us do that is Trekking Shoes. Got 4 copies of those too. Not only to help you get Psychic Energy into your discard pile, but it can also help you grab cards helps you draw cards if you need them. Very handy card. The other 4 of item card is Scoop Up Net. This is the card I was talking about earlier to allow you to use your Solrock's abilities over time. So you'll play a Solrock on your bench, use its ability, scoop it up with Scoop Up Net, play it back down, use its ability again. It's also very useful for retreating if you need to, but mostly we're just going to use it for reusing our Solrock's abilities. So some 3 of item cards, we got Fog Crystal, can help you find a Psychic Energy card to make sure you don't miss your energy drop for the turn, and can also find your Lunatones as it searches for basic Psychic Pokemon. 3 of those. Another handy Pokemon search, 3 Level Ball. Most of our Pokemon are 90 hit points or less. This will allow us to find all our Pokemon in the deck except for Radiant Greninja. And speaking of 90 hit points or less, 3 copies of Rescue Carrier. This allows us to return up to 2 Pokemon, each with 90 hit points or less from the discard pile to the hand. When your Lunatones or Solrocks get knocked out, you use this to get them back and get your game plan going again. Also have 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball in case 1 Pokemon or 2 is in your prize zone and you need to get it out of there. Very handy card for most decks. Final item is 3 copies of Choice Belt. This will allow you to get 1-hit knockouts on those Pokemon via V-Stars. Because you may be short 30 damage, even if you attach a bunch of energy to your Lunatone. This will help you get the knockouts you need. 1 last trainer card, 3 copies of PokéStop. This is a card from Pokemon, the Pokemon Go expansion that allows you to once per turn discard 3 cards from the top of your deck, and if you discarded any item cards, you put them into your hand. Now, like with some of the other cards in this deck, this is another way of getting those Psychic Energies into the discard pile so Solrock can use its ability, but also gets items into your hand like your Choice Belts and such. So, and with about 25 items in this deck, you're bound to hit at least 1 target whenever you use this. One last thing, we've got plenty of Psychic Energies. There are 14 of them in this deck. Gotta make sure you have plenty of energy so Lunatone is able to get powered up and get those big knockouts. And I do want to go over one of the main weaknesses of the deck, and the big one would be Collapse Stadium. You need a lot of Solrocks in play to use their abilities on your Lunatones, and Collapse Stadium makes it harder to do that by restricting your bench size, so this is a card you'll want to watch out for when you're playing this deck. But other than that, that about does it for this deck profile. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please consider leaving a like and a comment, and subscribe to make sure you don't miss any more videos. Until next time, good luck, have fun, and keep well.